Hey guys, so I know we've had several different professional development opportunities during the summer to look at creating Schoology, and so everything that I'm going to talk about today in this screencast is very similar to the things that we've already covered. These are the most basic parts of Schoology, but I just wanted to kind of give you some kind of guide as you work on creating your classes on your own to be able to reference if needed. So as you can see right now, I'm on my Schoology homepage, so I've got all my pop-ups here of different news. It's kind of like a news feed if you're familiar with Facebook. But in order to create a course, which you're actually not going to have to create a course because that will automatically generate when PowerSchool and Schoology merge in July. But as you can see up here at the top, I've got several different tabs. Now, typically during the school year, if I clicked on courses, it would show up every class that I teach. And as you can see here, I've got several different courses listed, but most of this stuff is from trainings where we've created courses for professional development this summer. And as you can also see, I've got the Dawson County Junior High School certified staff page as well. But for right now, during the summer, until PowerSchool merges with Schoology, if I wanted to add resources for my classes next year, what I would need to do is go to this resources tab on the far right hand side, and I would click the resources tab, and I would go down to personal. And when I click on personal, you'll see the only thing listed currently is ELA first period, and this is something that I just created in a professional development workshop. But if I wanted to add a new class, which many of you will be doing as you start this from scratch, if I wanted to add an ELA second period class, it's very simple. And all I have to do in order to do that is go to Add Resources, and I will go to Add Folder. And so I would name this one ELA second period, or whatever you wanted to call it. And you can click on a different color. And so if you taught 4 classes during the day, you might have 4 different folder colors. So I'll click green for this one. And I could also put a description of the course here. Now that's not something you have to do, but you might find it to be beneficial. And I will click create. So as you can see, when I click create, this ELA second period folder now shows up under my resources. So in order to add content to this ELA second period folder, I would click on the name of the folder, and I would click on add resources. And it will give you a whole list of different things that you can add into that. For many of you, probably right now, some of the biggest things you'll be adding is files, or you might add some links to websites that you're going to use throughout the year. But one thing that I would suggest that would make it a lot easier, rather than throwing all the content in there together under that one ELA second period folder, if possible, you might want to break it down by chapters and take it like that, and it will be a lot easier to manage that way. So in order to do that, I can actually create folders within folders. So since I'm currently under this folder of ELA second period, I'm going to go back up here to add a folder, and when I click that, it pops up just like the first one did, and I'm going to name this one chapter 1. And again, I can pick the color of this. I'll pick pink for that one, and I will hit create. Now, it shows up chapter 1 folder under this ELA second period folder. So I'll go back out and I'll kind of show you what that's going to look like. If I go up here to resources again, I go into personal, and I've still got my ELA first period and ELA second period folders. So again, I'm going to go into this ELA second period folder, and you can see now that chapter 1 is listed there. So to add content in here, I will go to the chapter 1 folder, and again, I will go to add resources. So let's say I had files to add, things that were saved in my documents on my computer. I could go here and I could go to add a file, and I could click on attach files. And what that will do is this will open up all the things in your documents. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff from my master's right here. And so I might just click on one of these. I might click on an assignment I've done recently, standard 2.2, click choose, and now it has uploaded that. And once I click add, that content will now be under this first period or chapter 1 folder within the ELA second period folder. And so that's how I would add that. Now, if I wanted to add a link to a website, maybe something that you're planning on using, I could click on Add Link. And what this will do is it will allow you to copy and paste a link into this top bar. So I'm just going to copy and paste the Schoology website here for the page that we're on, and then it will allow me to title that. So maybe in this one I'm teaching about commas. Maybe there's a good page on commas that I've got, and I would click Add. And as you can see, now there's a link on commas that shows up under that Chapter 1 folder. Another thing that I could do, I could add a discussion, and this would be something that the students would be able to see when they go into their Schoology account for your page. And I can click on Add Discussion, and I could title this discussion, and this might be Day 1, whatever, Day 1. And so right here I could type a description of this, so maybe a get to know you activity. All right, and for the rubric, I'm not going to have a rubric for this because this is just going to be very simple, and I will hit submit. And now there's a Day 1 discussion. Now when I create my class, I can easily access this and make it accessible to students, and when they click on there, they'll be able to have a discussion board directly on their Schoology page. One other thing that I can do, and this might be something that you don't necessarily create just yet, but you could if you've already got some tests or quizzes that you intend to give. You can click on Add Test and Quiz, and the kids will actually be able to do this directly on Schoology. So by doing this, we're completely cutting out the paper pencil method, and I could name this. So maybe this is Chapter 1 Quiz, and I will hit submit. And what it's going to do is when I hit submit, it's going to come up and it's going to allow me to actually create this quiz in here. So in order to do that, I can hit add question, and it will allow me to pick different types of answers. You can have true, false, multiple choice, ordering, short answer, fill in the blank, or matching. So I'll click on short answer here. You can click on whatever you want. And what it will allow you to do is you can type anything in here for the question. So for instance, if this was a language arts class, I might say, what are the 5 verb moods? And I can edit down here, whether I've got a character limit, all of this stuff. Typically I don't mess with this too much, and then I can go to create question. And when I go to create question, it shows up as question number 1. If I wanted to add a new question, I could click on add question, and it would allow me to create a new question. You can have as many questions or as few questions as you want on this. Once you've created the test, in order to see it the way that a student would see it, what you'll do is you'll click on preview and begin, and it will give you the same view that a student would see. So you can go through and make sure that it looks exactly like you want the students to see it. So it's got question 1, what are the 5 verb moods? And when I type something in there, which it won't let me really do anything because I'm just reviewing it here. So I'll go back to edit questions, and I can do that. All right, it will also allow you to go into the settings, and I can edit the instructions. I can type instructions for the test that the kids are going to be taking or the quiz. I can adjust the time limit. If I want to do a time limit, I could change this to yes and put it in minutes, how many minutes the kids have, how many attempts they have at the quiz, using page breaks, if you only want 1 question per page. The language keyboard, if you had a student that speaks Spanish, you could change this to Spanish. You can also randomize the order if you're having kids test together and maybe you want to cut down on the amount of cheating. Question review, that will allow the students to review their answers afterwards. And then the view submissions down here, students would be able to, you can click yes, so students can see what they chose on each question, or you can do yes with correct answers. And this might be something, if it was just a short little quiz in class, you might want kids to review. All right, so those are some of the things that you can do as far as adding things within folders. Another thing that I want to show you very quickly is back to my home screen using the calendar. So when I go to my home screen, and you'll see the same view in each of your courses when you have those generated. But I'll go over here to calendar. Now, if I go to calendar, I've already made one for today, but it will have highlighted what day it is. And so I can add anything in here simply by clicking on the day. And so 6/22/17, and I can add my title in here for whatever it is. So ELA quiz. Then I can write a description if needed, and then I can hit create. And when I hit create, you can see it pops up there, and that would be something that students and yourself would be able to see as well. And this is a great tool for parents as well to access Schoology, because we've got a lot of parents that really rely on this to know what's going on in their kids' classes. The expectation at Dawson County Junior High School is that all teachers update this calendar once a week, just to kind of make sure that they're on the same page, and students and parents both have access to this. So these were just some quick, simple reminders. If you've got anything that you would like me to specifically go over in Schoology, I would be more than happy to do that. Thank you very much.